This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Curaleaf, one of America's top multi-state cannabis operators with 43 local dispensaries, 12 cultivation sites, and 11 processing facilities, serving up more than 150,000 registered medical marijuana patients. Learn more about all the cool things Curaleaf is up to over at curaleaf.com, spelled C-U-R-A-L-E-A-F. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, April 19th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 708 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day mirrors yesterday's as we have more details now on the planned acquisition of U.S. multi-state cannabis operator Acreage Holdings by Canadian marijuana giant Canopy Growth. When we went into production yesterday, the story was just breaking of the deal, but the two companies hadn't yet released any specific numbers or terms. What we had heard by then was that the deal was to be a delayed one, as Canopy Growth isn't allowed to outright acquire U.S.-based companies because of the federal illegal status of marijuana. That point turned out to be accurate, as we now know that Canopy will pay a total of $3.4 billion for 100% of Acreage, but right now we'll only put up $300 million. The rest to come when that fateful day lands, when adult use becomes federally legal in America. There's also some stock involved in the deal, which you can read all about over at New Cannabis Ventures. Vermont Governor Phil Scott grabs our second top story today with his ignorant declaration made yesterday that he would not sign a marijuana legalization reform bill into law unless it includes a provision allowing police to administer roadside saliva tests on suspected impaired drivers, despite the fact that the test would not show in any way the current level of intoxication, only that the driver was a general consumer of marijuana. We've covered this storyline a ton in the past year or so, as Vermont has slowly legalized adult use marijuana via the legislative process. It's legal for Vermonters of age to grow, possess, consume, and share marijuana with other adults, but not to sell it. State lawmakers have been working to fix that, crafting an adult use sales system bill, Senate Bill 54, that has been passed by the Senate and that is being worked on right now in the House. Yesterday, Governor Scott told reporters that he needs to see a roadside THC saliva test in any legislation that he'd sign. VT Digger has a good story on this one. Maybe not a bad one to read, given the ubiquitous challenge of imposing sane cannabis driving laws. We end this week's top stories on a good note, as state lawmakers in Alaska have rejected a marijuana prohibitionist as an appointed member of the Marijuana Control Board, the governmental body that oversees Alaska's legal marijuana industry. Alaska's Governor Mike Dunleavy had picked Vivian Stever, a loud and active prohibitionist and legalization critic, to fill the seat, but Ms. Stever just failed by one vote to get the 31 legislative votes needed. Marijuana Business Daily is reporting that the Alaska Marijuana Industry Association has been fighting this nomination for a few months now, so congrats to everyone involved. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Curaleaf, one of America's top multi-state cannabis operators with 43 local dispensaries, 12 cultivation sites, and 11 processing facilities, serving up more than 150,000 registered medical marijuana patients. Visit curaleaf.com, with Curaleaf spelled C-U-R-A-L-E-A-F, and dive into learning all that you can about this very cool and fast-growing company, including more about Curaleaf the stock, which now trades up on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol CURA. Since the company has been operating largely in states mandating vertical integration, it's had the opportunity to get good at the entire legal marijuana supply chain. From cultivation through harvest, processing, packaging, and dispensing, Curaleaf does it all. With three main retail lines of products, with Curaleaf Medical Marijuana, Curaleaf Hemp, and Yukon Craft Cannabis, Curaleaf also has the entire range of cannabis consumers covered. One more time, just open up curaleaf.com to learn more and to find the closest Curaleaf shop to you. That's curaleaf.com. All right, time for the Blitz. Tomorrow is April 20th, aka the high holiday of marijuana. And in Colorado, the ride-sharing company Lyft is back offering a special promotion where riders can save $4.20 off the cost of any ride within the state by using the promo code 420CO19. Lyft is rolling out some of the same promotions in California, Massachusetts, and Canada. This is a nice indicator of the growing adoption of 420 in the marketing plans of more mainstream companies. Yesterday up in Canada, Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis, also known as AGLC, announced that it was giving out 26 more marijuana dispensary licenses, bringing the total up to 101 in that province. Alberta has been slowly rolling out its legal marijuana after last year's October nationwide switchover to adult use legalization and has tied the opening of new dispensaries to the available product from licensed providers. So the fact that they're giving out 26 more licenses is a good indicator that supply issues are getting better there. Hopping over a couple borders to the Canadian territory of the Yukon, we have news that the territory now has its first operational adult use marijuana dispensary, as yesterday the Cannabis dispensary opened up for the first time after getting its final license on Wednesday. The Yukon territory is one of the more sparsely populated parts of Canada, but does see a healthy flow of tourists who visit to camp and fish and swim and look at moose during the summer. I recently reported that state park visitors in the Yukon are now free to use marijuana in the same way they're free to drink hard alcohol. Timber giant Boise Cascade is suing Massachusetts-based marijuana company New England Treatment Access, or NETA, for trademark infringement. Boise Cascade is accusing Netta of having a logo that is too similar in design to its own, which features a 6-limbed tree surrounded by a thick-lined circle. Netta's logo is also contained within a circle and has a 4-limbed marijuana plant that does admittedly look like it could be derivative from Boise Cascade's design. Pop over to Mass Live to see the two logos for yourself and to read more details. Oklahoma's News 9 is reporting that, anecdotally at least, the prices for legal medical marijuana in Oklahoma are already starting to come down as the industry quickly ramps up just a couple months after opening. Oklahoma easily has the lowest barrier to entry for prospective cannabis entrepreneurs, with just a $2,500 licensing fee standing between anyone and a business operating license. As a result, there are now more than 1,300 licensed dispensaries, nearly 2,500 cultivators, and just under 90,000 patients in a program that didn't really exist a few months ago. Those are remarkable numbers, even when you factor in that most businesses are not actually open yet. Maybe not a bad idea to also read this one today. Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moments picked up on the fact that there are now 3 substantial proposed marijuana reform bills in Texas that have been passed out of committee and that are now headed to the House at large for consideration. The bills would expand the list of medical marijuana qualifying conditions, decriminalize the possession of small amounts of cannabis, and legalize industrial hemp. Kyle's story has all the right details, so swing over there if this one catches your interest. Wrapping up today's news and this week's headlines is a story in New Cannabis Ventures announcing the acquisition by Acreage Holdings, which we talked about in our top story, of a vertically integrated marijuana company in Nevada. Acreage Holdings will pay a mix of cash and stock worth $120 million for Deep Roots Medical LLC, which holds 7 retail licenses and operates a total of 18,000 square feet of cultivation, in addition to having a number of retail brands. You know you're having a big news week when your company spends $120 million to buy another, and it's not the biggest headline out there on you. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again Monday morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, send us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Cureleaf, and to our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.